you didn't know how he would respond. Maybe he'd send an angry tweet, or maybe he'd just like ban your country from everything. You don't know.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Trevor Noah of The Daily Show on Comedy Central, saying that if Trump was in office, all this conflict that's happening right now would not be happening, at least not in the fashion that it's happening. And before I say anything, before I get to the clip, which I do have, I just want to say this. I'm not sure what Trevor Noah is doing, because normally I see him as a leftist, a stone cold, stomp down leftist, a Trump hater, somebody talking about Russia, all this and that. So I'm not sure if he's just trying to do different kind of content, mix it up for the network to get a little bit of the left, a little bit of the right. I don't know if it's a strategic thing or if he really believes it, but it doesn't really matter, because I give him some credit for being 100% correct right here. This would not be happening under Trump. I think even Bill Maher said or questioned, hey, will all this be happening under Trump? Because nobody was trying to invade anybody when Trump was in office. So, I mean, what's going on? Why is it all of a sudden now they want to try to invade Ukraine, and then they're talking about Taiwan? What's happening? Now, before I go any further, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you'll see and hear Trevor Noah's brief talk about this. After we get done watching that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what was said there. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents and my deep detail analysis. And then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
There is no denying that Saudi Arabia isn't playing ball with Joe Biden. And you know what? You can say what you want, but this would have never happened to Donald Trump. Never. No one was ever ignoring Donald Trump's calls. Yeah, because if you ignored Donald Trump's calls, you didn't know how he would respond. Maybe he'd send an angry tweet, or maybe he'd just like ban your country from everything. You don't know. That's why I bet in these situations, Biden actually wishes that he could hire Trump to step in as president wildcard. You know, just keep everyone on their toes. Because if Trump was calling, you best believe the UAE, they'll be racing to pick up the phone. Oh, Mr. Trump, we're here, hello? Too late, Ahmed. You made me wait 2 rings. We're bombing the UAE and the UFC, just in case.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, again, shout out to Trevor Noah for just calling it how he sees it. This is an obvious thing that's going on. As I was saying before the clip rolled, this was not happening under Trump. People can say whatever they want. They can say they don't like the orange man, they don't like his hair, they don't like his tie. I don't care what you say about Trump. It doesn't really matter. The facts are the facts. This was not happening under him. Okay, if Trump and Putin were so buddy and they were cool and he was a bad guy, then why wouldn't he invade Crimea and Ukraine under Trump? I think Crimea was under Obama in 2014, and now the rest of Ukraine is under Joe Biden, but it wasn't happening under Trump. And they were such, good besties, and they're both evil. Why wasn't that going on right then? And I think Trevor Noah kind of touched on it. Trump is and was at the time an actual leader. You understand? Like, he wasn't just going to go on the script of whatever NATO said or whatever his handlers and the government would say in America. It wasn't even about that. It's about what he wants to do. He's leading from the front rather than leading from the back like Joe Biden is doing. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are puppets, and they're seen internationally as puppets of, I don't know, like global organizations, G6, G7, G25, however many countries there are in it, NATO, all these little alliances, and he's seen as a puppet of that, not as an actual leader. So if you are a Xi Jinping of China, Vladimir Putin of Russia, or anybody else that's an actual leader of their country, if you interface with a Joe Biden, you know it's not really Joe Biden you're talking to. You know it's his handlers. It's greater organizations. So you don't really talk to him specifically, okay? You look at the broader picture and see him as just a piece of the puzzle, but not somebody that's going to be able to actually move the pieces and do anything on his own. Because, I mean, quite frankly, we know that Joe Biden is not really all the way there. He's a few trees short of a forest, a few fries short of a Happy Meal. He's not 100% all the way to the top. If he was taking gas, he'd be about a quarter tank. That's pretty much what Joe Biden is. Everybody knows that. It's obvious. I'm not making it up. look at his face when he talks, you know something ain't right. Compare him now to 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, is night and day, but different story. I digress. The whole point is that everyone knows that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are not leaders. They're puppets, point blank, period. But Trump was an actual leader. It doesn't matter if you love him or hate him, he was a leader. So when you talk to Trump or you're dealing with the U.S., you got to talk to a person and not the handlers, not the greater picture. So things may not go your way. Things may go a different way from what you could expect because he's a person that may change his mind. He may do things differently, and he's not part of the political machine. You see, you got these guys that have kind of been groomed, if that's the appropriate word, to be part of the political machine, right? So whatever they do, it's easy to kind of see it, right? Before Trump got in office, you had Lindsey Graham and John McCain over in Ukraine trying to instigate the war back then. But Trump comes in and just puts a kibosh on that and said, nope, we're not going to do that. Nope, we're not going to go over here. Nope, we're not going to do that. And both sides of the political aisle, and specifically the left, but some on the right too, they didn't like that too much because you're messing the whole game up, man. We got a whole big, long plan in many years to go and to invade Russia and to try and do this and do that. And you got a whole big game plan and you messing it up. That's why they wanted him out so bad. That's why he got impeached over the whole Ukraine thing. Remember, he was on the phone call. It might have been with the former president. I don't think it was with Zelensky. It might have been with the other guy. But anyway, he's talking about some of the loan guarantees and, looking to Joe Biden. Oh, no, that right there was a big no. We got to get you out of here for that. Now, ultimately, they were unsuccessful, but the fact that they did that lets you know that it did not like what he was doing. Why? Because he's an actual leader. This is why other nations respected what he was doing. Okay? Saudi, UAE, China, Russia. But now it's like, whatever, we do what we want to do. So now you got Ukraine about to fall, and you got Zelensky being ridiculous. I think a guy like Zelensky is also a puppet. Maybe Zelensky got in office because he wanted to be the president from being an actor on TV, playing the president, and then he became popular and became the president. But once he got there, he got overwhelmed. Now you caught in between the tug of war between NATO and Russia. So you kind of caught right there. On one hand, if you just say, all right, we give up, we're not going to fight, and let Russia dominate, you're going to be kind of influenced by them. You kind of be in the Belarus, pocket. Or the other thing is keep on fighting, lose a bunch of people, and just be this battleground for a proxy war. I guess you would call it a proxy war between NATO and Russia. NATO is fighting Russia through Ukraine, but not directly, because if they fought directly, then there'd be nuclear weapons involved. Then you have a thing called mutually assured destruction, and the whole world will suffer. So rather than the whole world suffering a war with Russia, Ukraine is suffering a war with Russia, and it will continue to suffer as long as it keeps the whole charade up. The reason why he is a puppet is because he's kind of overwhelmed. He doesn't really understand, in my opinion, what's happening here. He don't understand. Okay, he's thinking that NATO will have his back and they'll protect him. Nope, you're on your own, because it's not even about trying to help you. It's about trying to attack Russia through you. That's what it's about. You're a proxy war battleground like the Philippines and what was that, World War II or Vietnam, wherever that was. That's what's happening right here. Okay, but as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Trevor Noah for keeping it all the way real. I don't agree with him on most things he says. Obviously, he's on the left. I'm not. But this right here is pretty clear to see. Anybody can see it. I think Bill Maher, like I said earlier, he said it. Trevor Noah, he's saying it. A lot of people on the left are saying it. It's obvious. This was not happening under Trump, but it's happening right now under Joe Biden. We got all kind of issues right now under Joe Biden. Build back better. I can't tell. You're going to build Ukraine back better with that $13 billion you gave them? Or is that more money for the war chest to try and attack Russia and still wind up losing? I'm not sure what's happening, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what's happening here in Ukraine and with Joe Biden and with people like Trevor Noah coming out here and say things like that? Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at. I say shout out to him for keeping it real, for being an honest person in this particular instance. I'm not sure if he's always honest. I can't say if he is or he isn't, but I know right here, this is pure honesty. Anybody can see it. It's not like he's just drawing some kind of wild conclusion. It's clear what's going on. This did not happen under Trump. It's happening right now under Joe Biden. Nobody respects Joe Biden. He's halfway, got 2 feet in the ground. Trump did not. Trump was energetic. Trump was erratic. So you got to pay him attention. You got to answer his phone calls. What's the point in answering Joe Biden's phone calls? He ain't the guy you got to talk to. It's like this. If I call a store, right, and I say, can I speak to the manager? And they put me on the phone with the cashier. I'm like, man, this ain't who I want to talk to. Click. Click. Okay. Let me talk to the manager. Let me talk to your boss. Okay. Joe Biden is not the boss. His bosses are the boss. Trump was the boss. I'm talking straight to the guy I got to talk to. If I can't talk to the boss, then hang up the phone. As simple as that. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.